Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry that I can't be in Japan because all this traveling, but I'm here to talk about the shark fin trade in Hong Kong and the need for regulation and enforcement. So just give you a bit about like background. This is Hong Kong. A lot of like people coming shopping and but not like tourists these days, but hopefully like people can come back to do shoppings. But on the other hand, this is also Hong Kong, which is like we call the shark fin capital. So the reason for the shark fin capital is if we look at the scales. So like we actually look at the trade data from the past 14 years. You can see this is the scale, like more than 125 countries or places, they have shipped like shark fins to Hong Kong. So that's why when we talk about shark fins, we're always talking about Hong Kong. And also that is very important too. We have to remember the shark trade or the shark fin trade is actually involved like a global scale. Many countries are actually involved, like taking out the resources from the oceans. So not only from the trade data, we can see the scale, like many countries involved, but also we look at the trade data with compared to FAO. So this is actually the trade data reported to FAO. For example, you can see this is from Ecuador reporting exporting fins for their whole countries. But if I put the yellow one, which is the trade data, we took it from the Hong Kong custom. And you can see most of the fins actually taking from like Ecuador reported is actually going to Hong Kong. This is also the other way to see why actually the fins, where did they go? You can see majority, the trade data pattern, the match from the countries reported export to the UN FAO. So we also look at trade data compare analysis. We actually look at compare like Hong Kong, China, Singapore, Japan, and also Taiwan, because previously there's a study saying like in the world, almost 90% of the shark fin trade actually going to these like 5 places. And we also do analysis. You can see even with the decline. So we talk about the decline of the imports or the exports from the countries. But you can see even with the decline, Hong Kong is still one of the most important places. But of course, you can also see Singapore is increasing their imports of the shark fin trade. But just to give you an idea, why we are looking information from the trade hub like Hong Kong. And we have actually done studies. We're looking at small like off-cut. So there are many different ways of those off-cut, but you can see all from these pictures, we took samples from the Hong Kong market, we buy from the trader, and then we do DNA analysis to actually understand what species are being traded. Because if we talk about to protect something, we need to know what we are trading. So a study in 2006 actually found out on the left-hand side, this is like the shark fin category. And people at that time, 2006, using DNA. And then you can see I put on one more extra category, which is the IUCN threatened species status. So the IUCN status is talking about the conservation status. So you can see all the red species, they're actually vulnerable or endangered, which means they need help, they need management and protection before they will be extinct. So in 2017, I just mentioned we use off-cut, which is from the market. Look at the species composition. We can see most of the species are still in trade. And also we found out there are about 81 to 99 shark species are being traded. And also we always talk about shark fins, but actually some of the fins are taken from ray. So not just shark, even like for example, these 3 pictures, they're actually ray species, not just sharks. So sometimes we talk about shark fin, we have to actually think about also talking about the ray fins. And that's the reason why we now talking not only shark protection, but also for the ray protection. And the study actually tells us what. So in Hong Kong, we always talk about CITES. And the reason why I talk about CITES, because it's the only one regulation that can control and monitor the trade. And you can see from the study that we have done, most of the species, like number of CITES listed shark species actually growing in the market, which means we need management to actually manage those species. But we have to also remember more species are being listed in CITES since 2014. So it's not surprise more like number of like CITES species are found in the market, but you can see If there are CITES, then we can actually manage and regulate and also look at the trade. And we have also used the data to publish another study. And this is very important and very new to science in 2020. The study actually looked at the species composition I just mentioned in the Hong Kong market. But you can see two-thirds of the species are actually found in the Hong Kong market. They are already threatened with extinction, which means they are either vulnerable, endangered, or critical endangered. And we break down to species level. You can see actually, like you can see those with the star, which means they're already listed in CITES. But 19% of the trade, 90 of the trade, actually including the Requiem shark, which is from the family Cachuhanidae, which is in November in Panama that the proposal is talking about listed those species in CITES. Once, if the species are listed in CITES, which means 90% of the Hong Kong trade of global shark fin trade will be regulated, and that's why it's important. And this study actually helped us to understand actually more than 90% of the trade are from that family level of the species found in Hong Kong market, and two-thirds of the species are actually threatened with extinction, either vulnerable, endangered, or critically endangered. And CITES, as mentioned, this is the only regulation that in Hong Kong that can help monitor global trade. And then for identification and enforcement, we actually work with the Hong Kong government to, in Hong Kong, which is the Agriculture, Fishery and Conservation Department, and also the custom, because they were the one first to see the product coming in or out of Hong Kong. So they need to understand what is CITES listed species, etc. So we have done some training workshop, either using visual identification, and the workshop has been done in different years because all depending on CITES the COP. Once they are, so for example, if this year the species are listed, and then we'll do another training to make sure they understand what species are legal, what species are illegal. We also provide poster for the government that they can actually use at the custom to try to find the illegal fins. And just to give you an idea, this is pictures from Peru. What you have seen is bags and thousands of fins actually packed in one bags. And those bags, they all put in container. You can see if you open one white bag, will be thousands and thousands of fins exporting from Peru to different places. And just to give you an idea of the trade. And sometimes they will have species level like this one, they will have the weight, and they will have the company, they will have all the detail, but not always the case. So this is actually, so the picture you saw before is taken from Peru, exporting country. And the picture you see now is actually in Hong Kong. The custom doing the inspection, you can see exactly the same thing. The container comes with bags and bags, and then if you open one bag like here, you can see thousands and thousands of fins actually there. And the custom actually using visual, that's why we need visual identification. They can actually see what is illegal, what is legal. And so far, since 2014, because and thank you to the CITES listing or the regulation, we actually found out since the implementation, you can see there is different seizures in each year. So for example, if you look at the seizures all for the listed CITES species, and you can actually see how they actually come into Hong Kong and where did they seize the stuff. And you can see total shark fin seizures are actually increasing, especially in 2020. We have to remember 2020 is the pandemic. We think logistics are difficult, flights are difficult going anywhere, but actually we get the biggest seizures in 2020, which means even under the pandemic, the shark fin trade still goes on. So now we keep monitoring and looking at the market. We want to understand if pandemic has any effects on the shark fin trade. But just to give you an idea, more of the seizures is all depends, and thank you to CITES listing regulation. And as you can see, just mentioned, 26 tons, which is the highest, biggest seizures in Hong Kong happening in 2020. And if we also look at the data, so you have seen up to 2020, it's very interesting. And then now I actually pinpoint the looking only at 2021 data. You can see in January, March, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. and they all have seizures, which means one thing: almost every month, apart from February, which is the Chinese New Year last year, which means the trader was taking some time off. But this is to show you the frequent, actually almost every month, there would be some illegal things coming to Hong Kong. And also the government actually Hong Kong government trying very hard to actually look at the seizures. And it's not surprised too there would be seizures, because shark fins are being like, once there could be a black market, but as you can see, the government is trying very hard, and there will be continued like those illegal things coming to Hong Kong. And that's why we have to make sure CITES is working. For example, is the reason because one, is very profitable for wildlife crime trade, not just on sharks, but also you look at ivory, rhino horn. And that's why it's very important to make sure custom actually regulating and implement CITES. And the other thing, this is the seafood demand. And it's also from the UN data, you can see each year per person eating how much seafood per kilogram per year. You can see Hong Kong is actually second highest in the Asia. So this is actually a summary of different countries. You can see we actually takes about 68 to 70 kilogram per person on seafood compared to world average, which is about 19. So we are eating 3 times more the world average on seafood. Like, you can, to just show you the demand of the seafood in Hong Kong is very high. So combined with money and also the demand, we really need something to work on an international level and regulate the trade. And as mentioned before, not just sharks, we have our culture, we love eating seafood. So live fish, we also trade more than 50% that we need regulate. And sea cucumber, you can see it from the last COP and also this year. Not only we talk about shark protection, but also the sea cucumber. As you can see, in previous year, in the 1996, there are only 30 countries sending sea cucumber to Hong Kong. But when time flies and up to now, actually the most updated data, more than 80, like almost 100 countries and places sending sea cucumber to Hong Kong. And you can see, we can actually trace through history. You can see there's a term in fishery. When we finish one place, boom and bust, and then we go further and further and further to look at the resources, because we clear one places and we go to other places. And sea cucumber, actually this map remind me exactly what happened on the shark fin trade. So there are many marine species are being traded internationally that they need regulation and help to monitor. So once again, so the reason why 90% of the trade could be regulated, and also you can, it's all because of the CITES proposal this time, which is talking about the requiem shark. And most of those species are being traded in now is actually like 2/3 of them found in the trade market are actually with extinction, threatened with extinction. So for example, either vulnerable, critically endangered, or endangered. So we really need to see the proposal once they pass, and then everything can be regulated. And then we have to make sure the implementation is follow up. Once again, thank you for your time, and thank you JWCS for inviting me to speak. So I think we can all do better, and especially Hong Kong. So if you have any questions and answers, please feel free to email me and ask me any questions. And once again, sorry that I can't be there, but good luck for everything. Thank you.